I will present geodesics. That is the work we have done in our team during last month. I am Sylvain Loyer. I am working in Toulouse. I am in charge of the EGS analysis center that is called GRG, for GRG product. And I will present you this work. So the motivation is that in our group, we are already working with 3 geodetic techniques currently. We are hosting an EDS, EGS, and ELRS analysis center. The ELRS analysis center is just new from this year. So for these activities, we use the same precise orbit determination software, that is the software GEANS from .NET. And in our team, we also make work on the precise orbit determination of altimetric satellite, like Sentinel-6A. And in this frame, we are involved in the Copernicus precise orbit determination working group. The motivation is taking advantage of this knowledge of the 3 techniques, and with the coming mission of ESA Genesis, we start to think about make multi-technique processing, and we decided to start with Sentinel-6A to make experiment with that. We want to be prepared for the processing of Genesis observation, and we also want to see, meanwhile, the impact of this kind of processing for the TRF realization. Just a little background about multi-technique and single-technique processing. The today's classical processing are monotechnique processing. For example, for the ETRF, usually people compute only one kind of measurements, give individual contribution to the analysis to the international services, coordinators. So you have individual computation for DORIS, SLR, GNSS, and VLBI. And in a second step, at the ETRF building level, the results are combined, adding local tides and co-velocity constraints and common EOP parameters, like presented this morning by Zoer, for example, or for the ETRF 2020. Another example is the example of the classical LEO altimetric observation. First, you compute the GNSS orbit and plots, then you use it fixed to derive the LEO orbits, and you can use DORIS observation at this level, and SLR is generally used as an external validation to test the results, like it is illustrated on the figure on the right. When you do a common joint preprocessing of observation, it means that you process every observation all together, keeping for example, the LEO observation and PCOs and orbital parameter in the system. Here I use the normal equation representation to illustrate this, and you have to ensure that, for example, the orbit of the LEO is the same for all the techniques. In your processing, you can do it to several ways, but at the end, it's better to use the same software to avoid difficulties between the techniques. The advantage is to obtain the famous space tie between the techniques, and that gives you a correlation between station position of the different techniques for the LEO observation. There is several other advantages, but the drawback is that it's a huge processing in comparison to individual techniques. So, and this has already been done several times in the past, and today by other teams for geocenter study and also for simulation of Genesis-like mission, like RASP, for example. There is not an infinite, but a lot of possible experiments when you deal with multi-techniques. If you deal with 1 or 2 or 3 techniques, for example, you can do classical processing like the IGS, ILRS, or IDS contribution classical. That is only one technique with nothing else. But you can add a Leo observation to the GNSS processing. It's what I will present today. And you can also imagine to deal with other techniques, and it's what we are preparing, and but I will not speak about this SLR and Doris inclusion today. I will only speak about the GNSS plus Leo observation results, and we will look at the Leo data impact on the individual GNSS solution. So the processing we have done is to process 1 day arcs of GNSS Galileo plus GPS observation. We did process 1 year and a half of data, and we have the same force model for the GNSS satellite on the Leo. For example, gravity field, Earth orientation parameter are all in common, and this is important when you want to make a joint processing. We keep in the normal equations fast center offset, either for the height satellite, either for the Leo, to be able to play with it later at the normal equation level. The result we have for the orbit, the Sentinel-6A orbit, are presented on the left. And we here compare the quality of our orbit with some reference orbit that is used in the Copernicus working group. Here, the CNES precise orbit. And it's a way for me to also to say you that we use ambiguity fixing on the Leo satellite observation. You see that we have at 1 or 1.5 centimeter level in 3D and around 5 millimeter quality in the radial direction for the Sentinel-6A orbit. And the first result of this study is to look at the impact of the inclusion of Sentinel-6A on the orbit, IGNSS orbits. And you see that we have a very, this is not significant, the GNSS orbit, either GPS or Galileo, are not significantly affected by the Sentinel-6A data. On the same way, here we look at the station network solutions. You have on this plot 3 curves. The one in blue is GNSS only. The orange is adding a Sentinel-6A observation to the processing, and the green is the difference between the two, over 1 year and a half approximately. And you have the 3 weighted RMS in north, east from the top, north and up direction. And as you see, we are below the millimeter level for the differences we obtain in the network solution. That is in comparison with current realization, not a huge amount of differences. More interesting is the geocenter coordinate. Again, we have the same color code. It is to say in blue the GNSS only, in orange the GNSS plus Sentinel-6A observation. And on the left part, you have the geocenter coordinate itself in X, Y, and Z component, and the formal errors in the middle. As you see, the formal error decreases a lot when using adding Sentinel-6A observation to the equations. And also for the X and Y coordinate, there is an improvement of the geocenter coordinate with the ETRF 2020 seasonal model that is in green in this plot. This works for X and Y component, but not too much, not at all, for the Z geocenter component. And as you see on the spectral analysis of this series, there is a period associated with the Sentinel-6A draconitic period that is remaining in our solution due to orbit deficiency modeling. Well, so I did fast, my God.
Lots of questions.
A lot of questions are possible. So the main conclusion, I will spend time for the The main conclusions is that in our team we started to investigate space-time using our software that is common for all techniques. We have built a processing chain that is able to compute daily single or multi-technique solution according to what we want to observe. And we provide all the solutions we make in SciNext format, and this allows collaboration with other teams. For example, the analysis of the solution of the frame have been done by Paul Robichon using our SciNext, so it's easy to exchange this, and we can be helped by the expert of different techniques by using SciNext exchange of the results. The first results show that the inclusion of Sentinel-6R in a GNSS solution does not significantly affect the geometry of the GNSS bound network, nor the GNSS orbit, as you have seen. We reduce the geocenter formal error by a factor of 2 in Z direction and around 4 in X and Y direction. We improve greatly the agreement with the ITRF of the geocenter motion with the ITRF 2020 seasonal motion model. But there is still remaining centimeter level draconitic effects of Sentinel-6R in the Z component of the geocenter. We think that future IGS and ITRF product could benefit or should benefit from the use of the inclusion of GNSS observation. And I have seen a lot of, no, not a lot, several works during this workshop concerning this subject. And we will present with other speakers in other meetings this year the results associated with DORIS and GNSS combination under Celeron and GNSS. And just the illustration here of the matrix we can obtain the three techniques with the correlation between the station coordinates arising from the layer. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.